Fresh concerns over insecurity have emerged in Kwara State following a deadly attack by suspected bandits on a Fulani settlement in Lafiagi, Edo local government area. The attack, which occurred on Monday night in the Sudu sawmill area on the outskirts of the town, left one resident dead and 2 women abducted, further deepening fears among residents who have repeatedly called for stronger security measures across the Kwara North region. The incident is the latest in a series of violent attacks that have troubled communities in Edo and neighboring local government areas, where criminals groups have continued to exploit remote settlements and forested areas to launch operations against local residents. Community members described the attack as frightening and traumatic, saying many families spent the night in fear as gunshots echoed across the settlement and residents scrambled to find safety. According to eyewitness accounts, the attackers arrived at the community at approximately 8 p.m. and immediately began shooting indiscriminately. The sudden eruption of gunfire threw the settlement into confusion, forcing residents to flee their homes, while others sought refuge in nearby bushes and surrounding areas. Witnesses said the attackers appeared to be operating with a specific mission and moved directly towards the residence of a prominent Fulani leader within the community. Panic spread rapidly as people attempted to escape the violence. Uncertain about the intentions of the heavily armed men, several residents reported that they had sustained gunfire as the attackers searched the area, creating an atmosphere of terror that lasted for several minutes. By the time the attack ended, one resident has lost his life and 2 women had been taken away by the gunmen. Sources familiar with the incident disclosed that the attackers were believed to have been targeting a well-known Fulani leader, identified as the Siriki Fulani, also known as an Ado. According to residents, the armed men appeared determined to locate and capture him, but were unable to find him during the operation. After failing to achieve their primary objective, the attackers allegedly turned their attention to members of his household. 2 women, aged 25 and 35, who were identified as wives of the Fulani leader, were reportedly adopted by the gunmen before they fled the community. Residents said the development has created enormous anxiety among family members and community leaders, who remain worried about the safety and well-being of the kidnapped women. The motives behind the attack remained unclear, although security agencies are investigating the circumstances surrounding the incident. In addition to the adoption, the attack resulted in the death of a resident whose identity was not immediately disclosed. Community members described the killing as another painful reminder of the growing insecurity affecting rural communities across the region. Residents expressed frustration that innocent people continue to lose their lives during attacks carried out by criminal groups operating within and around forest corridors. The death of the victim has added to the grief already being experienced by the community as families struggle to cope with both the loss of a loved one and the uncertainty surrounding the fate of the adopted women. Local leaders have appealed to security agencies to intensify rescue efforts and ensure that those responsible for the attack are brought to justice. Security agencies reportedly responded after receiving distress calls from residents during the attack. According to reports, military personnel were among the first responders to arrive in the area and immediately engage the attackers. Residents said the presence of troops helped prevent further casualties and forced the gunmen to abandon part of their operation. During the confrontation, the attackers reportedly retreated into a nearby forest after coming under pressure from security forces. The rapid response by military personnel has been praised by some residents, although many maintain that stronger preventive measures are needed to stop such incidents from occurring in the first place. Security patrols have intensified in the area as authorities continue efforts to track down the attackers and locate the kidnapped women. Confirming the incident, the Commissioner of Police in Kwara State, Adekimi Ojo, acknowledged that one person was killed while 2 women were abducted during the attack. According to the police commissioner, preliminary investigations support reports that the attackers had specifically targeted the Fulani leader but failed to locate him. Ojo explained that the women abducted by the gunmen were wives of the community leader and confirmed that security agencies remain actively engaged in efforts to rescue them. He stated that police personnel are working closely with the military and other security agencies to pursue the attackers and prevent further incidents. The commissioner reassured residents that the operation remains ongoing and that authorities are committed to restoring security in the affected area. The attack has once again drawn attention to the persistent security challenges confronting communities in Kwara North. Over the past several years, residents of Edu local government area and neighboring communities have repeatedly raised concerns about criminal activities linked to bandit groups operating within forested regions. Community leaders, traditional rulers, and local stakeholders have consistently appealed for increased security presence, improved intelligence gathering, and sustained operations aimed at dismantling criminal networks. Many residents argue that despite previous interventions by security agencies, armed groups continue to exploit difficult terrain and remote locations to evade capture. The latest incident is likely to strengthen calls for more aggressive action to address the root causes of insecurity and prevent vulnerable communities from future attacks. For many residents, the attack represents more than an isolated criminal incident. It reflects broader concerns about the safety of rural populations and the ability of communities to carry out their daily activities without fear. Farmers, traders, and travelers in several parts of Kwara North have increasingly expressed worries about movement within certain areas, particularly during evening hours. Community members argue that economic activities, social interactions, and educational pursuits are all affected when insecurity becomes a constant threat. The kidnapping of the 2 women and the killing of a resident has therefore reignited demands for a comprehensive approach that combines security operations with long-term measures designed to prevent criminal groups from regrouping and launching fresh attacks. As security forces continue their pursuit of the attackers, attention remains focused on the safe return of the adopted women and the arrest of those responsible for the violence. Families of the victims remain hopeful that ongoing operations will produce positive results, while residents continue to call for greater protection across vulnerable communities. The coming days are expected to be critical as security agencies intensify efforts to track the gunmen and gather intelligence capable of leading to the victims' rescue. For the people of Lafigi and surrounding communities, the priority remains clear: securing justice for the slave residents, ensuring the safe return of the adopted women, and restoring confidence that residents can live without constant fear of violent attacks. Many thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I am Cassie Tony, and do have a beautiful day.